going to discuss about the anatomical position, directional terms, body parts and regions, and abdominal quadrants and regions. Now, let's start with the anatomical position. This is the anatomical position. When we say anatomical position, it means standing erect with the face and palm are facing forward. Next is the directional term. Directional terms mean the directions of the body and to locate.
Stop.
Here is the anatomical position, the left and the right part. In the middle of the left and the right part, we have the midline. Going to the midline, we have the medial, and away from the midline, we have the lateral. This part is the superior or cephalic, and this part down to the feet, we have the inferior or caudal. Next to the superior or cephalic and inferior or caudal, we have the proximal and distal. Once we say proximal and distal, there is a near and far. So it has a point of attachment. The arm is proximal to the antecubital because it means the arm is near to the antecubital. How about the distals? Once we say distal, from the word itself, distance, is far away from the point of attachment. Here are the antecubital, and then the palm is distal to the antecubital because it is far away from the point of attachment. Next, we have the directional terms. We have here the anterior and posterior. When we say anterior, front or ventral, and when we say posterior, back or dorsal. In body positioning, we have the supination and pronation. Once we say supination, the patient is lying on his back. And when we say pronation, the patient or client is lying in front on him. Next is the body parts and regions. We have the head, the trunk, the lower limb, and the upper limb. First, we have the anterior in front. This is the head, this is the neck, this is the trunk, this is the upper limb, and this is the lower limb. That is the major body parts and regions. For the head, we have the eyes. Eyes is for orbital, nose or nasal, ear is for otic, and for the head, we have the forehead or frontal. For the eyes, we have orbital. For the nose, we have the nasal. For the mouth, we have the oral. For the cheek, we have the buccal. For the chin, we have the mental. And that is the front anterior of the head. This is the neck or cervical. And why is it cervical? Because your spinal ventigram or spinal column is the first we can found in cervical. There are three parts of the trunk, which is the thoracic, abdomen, and pelvis. For thoracic, we have the chest or pectoral. Next to the head and the neck, we have the trunk. Trunk composed of three parts, which are the thoracic, abdomen, and pelvis. Thoracic includes the chest or the pectoral, the breastbone or the sternal, and the mammary or the breast. This is the abdomen, and this is the navel or umbilical. And for pelvis, we have this. This is the pelvis, this is the inguinal, and this is the genital or public. For the upper and the lower limb of the back or posterior, we have the acromial or the point of shoulder. Second is the olecranon or the point of elbow. Then the dorsum, or the back of the hand. For the lower limb, we have the popliteal, or hollow behind the knee, and second is the sural, or calf, and then the last one is plantar, or sole. This is the left and right, and we will divide the patient or client's abdomen into four. This is the right upper quadrant. This is the right lower quadrant. This is the left
Upper.
This is the right upper quadrant. This is the right lower quadrant. This is the left upper quadrant, and this is the left lower quadrant. And the last part that we are going to discuss is about the regions. Let's start in the middle part, which is the epigastric region. The second one is the umbilical, and the third is the hypoglossal region. Let's come now to the right part, which is the hypochondriac region. Here in the middle of umbilical region, we have there the right lumbar region, and then the other side on the left, we have the left lumbar region, because it is positioned in the lumbar part, or the vertebral. Next is the hypoglossal region in your right iliac region, because it is positioned in the iliac, the posterior vertebral column.